Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Real Sports Scope on this very busy 16th day of October. Got a great show with you for tonight. Hopefully, the Mad New Yorker will be up here shortly. There he goes. Speaking of the devil, he pops up. Not always there on time, but he's always there when I call, like the Ashante song would say. uh, Listen, we'll go ahead and skip the break because I'm running a little bit behind myself. Got a lot I want to cover with the Mad New Yorker. If you're ready to come up here, buddy, we'll go ahead and set you up here now as soon as I can get the. Man, we got Kimball and all those guys beat with the live studio audience there. Hey, how
Hello,
you doing
hello.
tonight, Chief?
Doing well. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you pretty good.
Good, good, good.
There's so much in the news. I wanted to start a little bit different tonight because there was some news that broke that Indiana's coach has been red hot this week. The talk of the college football, even pro football, all of sports universe. Kurt Signati in Indiana agreed to terms to an 8-year contract, average of $11.6 million per year. Uh, that will be up in 2033. Obviously, go up to Oregon and win on Saturday like that. They were 1-72 against top five opponents before this game. Ohio State won the national championship last year. They couldn't go to Eugene and beat them up in Oregon. They go up here and win by 10 convincingly. I don't know if you saw that game, but man, today is Thursday. That was 5 days ago. I'm still shocked by that. What is your thoughts about that win? And
That
of course,
was
Nadi.
it was shocking, but it's like how can I say Indiana's been flying under the radar, even though they've been winning. They've been flying under the radar, and it's time for them to make big leaps and bounds. And you know, the only reason I know about it is because I have my niece that she's at Indiana. They're excited
Okay.
about their football team. She's a sophomore there. Props to her. She plays on a few little teams over there that are club teams. So, like everybody's excited there. So it's good for her. It's good for her college experience to have a football team to follow. Um, you know, from the experience of being in Tennessee and things like that. So, but yeah, he's been flying under the radar as far as not their play because the record is what the record is, but just by the talks, right? Nobody was talking about him until now. Now they beat Oregon. All of a sudden now it's like, okay, are they for real? And they've been for real since last year. They just hadn't didn't take advantage of the opportunities. And this year they've been taking advantage of their opportunities. And they've been doing well, and it's good for that football team there. So
Yeah, yeah. And I was just watching last week's game day. Pat McAfee's wife went to Indiana. He was the only person on the panel that picked Indiana. Only person in the country that's an analyst that picked Indiana.
yeah.
He's patting himself, and of course he got a lot of boos because game day was up in Eugene last Saturday. That was really interesting. I said that to lead you up to this. James Franklin fired over the weekend.
Mm, mm.
50 something $1 million buyout. What's your? I didn't really give my full thought of other than we know that he's 4-21. I want to say against top five or against is it top five opponents over the
Ranked
years?
opponent.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, 4-21 against top. Excuse me, I want to say top 10 opponents. He's 4-21. Excuse me. He's 1-8 against games at Beaver Stadium against top 10 opponents. Most losses, of course, obviously the Oregon loss, but also you throw in losing to his 4 wins include 2 against Buckeyes and the Badgers. I mean, just not really. The guy's making a ton of money there. Been there 11 years. I thought maybe they'd wait till the end of the season, maybe give him another year. But 11 years, that record, that contract, I figure with NIL, maybe they wouldn't pull the trigger. but somebody with a lot of power there and power over the purse per se did that. What's your thoughts about that?
Yeah, I mean, again, I got family that went to Penn State too. They're over it. They want to win. They want to be in a championship type of caliber situation, of be able to be in a playoff and get going. And if they're being held back by decisions made at the top, which is a coaching, they were ready to move on. People, you can only be at Happy Valley so many times and not be happy, man. Like and some people are like, well, they're not even they're not usually in the top five, but it's not about being in the top five. It's being able to be competitive during the year and beat your rivals, right? At the end of the day, at
Yeah,
least beat your rivals, and they weren't doing that and consistently, and you know you can't just be beating on small teams because those are expected teams that you can beat. And again, for the last what maybe 4.5 years, they've had, I say 5 years plus. They've in the tenure he was there, they've had over 40 NFL players and that top caliber players that have gone and become high
yeah.
high
Saquon Barkley. I mean, your guy, what's his name? That's playing with the Giants right now. The
Carter.
edge
Yep,
one. Abdul Carter, really
yep,
high pick, fashion it with your Jets, a left tackle. I mean,
yep.
just tons of high end players, man.
Right. So the problem is that and now they become they're alumni and they're supporting Penn State. So if they're not saying, hey, we got to get rid of Franklin, then that means that they're also part of pushing them out as well. So, um, you know, um, it's tough because of Penn State. Before the situation that happened, they were always traditionalists and things like that. But
Yeah.
money begets more money. These guys are all professionals out there giving to the school, and they want to see change. They want to be They want to be in the hunt, right? And the way to get in the hunt right now is for them. They feel like it's moving on from Franklin, and we've talked about it. We saw him here in Vandy, and you can only do so much, but you gotta you sometimes you gotta break with what you got and move on to something different. So.
Yeah, I think you'll get another opportunity somewhere else. I was already reading about maybe Virginia Tech may look at him to hire him. They fired their coach. Maybe he comes back down south. Maybe Florida takes him if they move on from their coach down there.
He could just go to Austin P. Like, no, no, but like on a lighter note, he should go to
I
a
don't think
small
he'll
school.
stoop as low as us, but
I mean, no, but still, that's going to a conference like that, like even maybe coaching like a UAB. I feel like that would be a better and safer bet for him due to the expectations,
Yeah,
right? And
Trent
like
Dilfer got fired from UAB. Now that you mention it, yeah, former
some
Baltimore Raven.
something in those not are huge conferences, but they do play huge games, and the schools do get big payouts to play these games. And I feel like he'd probably be better there, and even make his formulate another type of like record for himself where he could be winning again. And these are schools that have more less non-scholarship players, but as just much opportunity to play in big time, right? So
Yeah,
in big games. So
they owe him like 50 million. By the way, he'll be on game day this week. He can do media and just get paid by Penn State. Technically, I was talking to somebody earlier this week about this when it happened Sunday afternoon. He really don't have to work again. I mean,
no,
he can just do media the rest of it. Guys like 55, 60 years old, he can do media the rest of his career if he wanted to. He's
yeah,
made
I
so
mean,
much
like,
money.
and it's hard for us and where we're from and how we see him and try to just pick up a situation for him. At the end of the day, he's a human. He's gonna choose what he wants to choose and what he wants to do. And if he wants to go back to coaching, Godspeed. If he wants to do media, good for him.
Yeah.
Whatever he chooses to do, at least he has the option, and he's kind of earned it, right? It's not that he's a losing coach; it's that he wasn't winning the big
He's a good
games,
coach. He's not a great coach.
right?
You
Right, and
know,
then and like again, like you know,
he's a very good coach. I'll take it.
and,
That says he did wonders with Vanderbilt.
yeah, and not in a team like Penn State, they're trying to be every year want to be like Ohio State and the Michigan, right? They want to be big, recruiters, big, big time players in those conferences. So
Yeah. Yeah.
we'll see
True.
what happens.
Yeah. Do you think? I was going to bring up Sonati, but he signed a big extension there. Marcus Freeman, would he leave Notre Dame to go there? I don't think. I think Notre Dame would match Penn State, but you got to make that call if you're Penn State, right?
Yeah, you make the call, and on top of that, the only thing that brings you consistency with leaving Notre Dame is the fact that you're in a conference, and that a conference really matters. So, and can he move away from Notre Dame to a conference like that um and be consistently do well and be a good coach? That would be more challenging than being in Notre Dame and being able to move
Maneuver
yourself.
your schedule a little bit.
Yeah, yeah. So, but again, you got to play the big guys. So I don't, I think at Notre Dame, it's not about him. It's more about the alumni and trying to save face and trying to make money because they're not in a huge conference.
Yeah.
So, but if he were to leave there, I think it'd be a situation where maybe he should have held on a couple more years. You want to make your name. You want to say that you've been in a place 5+ years and you've been competitive the five
Well,
years you were there.
They played for a national championship last year. I just don't know if I would make that move. Penn State would have to offer me like 15, 20. I mean, it would really have to be a lot. I would have to know their NIL budget. It would be a lot for me to do it. That being said, uh, I think that as much as going back to Franklin, he talked about confidence and all this, and he told a story. I picked my coaches on what kind of how pretty their wife is and how much. I think, where's your confidence at? How come you didn't go for two at the end of the game against Oregon? Um, Unlike a Freeman, who's got a lot of confidence, who's made things happen, who's took Notre Dame to places. Looks like he made them better than Brian Kelly. You
Yeah,
know,
and on top of
or,
that,
yeah, Brian Kelly. Yeah,
and look, Freeman had quarterbacks that left there that were highly touted quarterbacks, and he's like, all right, we can do without them. They don't want to be here. They want to chase money, NIL, let them leave. And two quarterbacks left. Two quarterbacks left Notre Dame to not be as successful as they were back in Notre Dame. So, he's making a name for himself and making choices that most teams wouldn't make, because Notre Dame backs him up for the decisions that he has, and that as a coach gives you confidence as well. So, you
he's
got
a
to give.
very young guy. That guy's really surpassed my expectations being that young. Uh, Man, he's went farther than Lincoln Riley, and Riley's got all these first round picks, but it's about winning and losing. And he's played for
Right.
a national championship. The better, ironically, they play this weekend against USC. I think they'll win at home against USC. That's not on our list, but because they've already got two losses per se. I was reading maybe they reach out to Urban Meyer. Do you think Urban Meyer can be talked out of retirement and go against Ohio State's rival like that?
I'm not. I feel like even if they reached him, I feel like they just did it as a courtesy. Um, I mean,
Okay.
I've been expecting a phone call here for the last 2 days, and nobody's called me. But um,
Yeah, I mean, I'll do something too. I mean, as long as you got the NIL set up, and
no, but as
I'll
far as
do it
Urban
with you
Meyer, I
there.
mean, I'm not sure if he would be someone who would want to go back into coaching the way coaching is set up now. So, like you mentioned, NIL, the way that these
Yeah,
some of these teams are set up through their athletic department, I'm not sure even if he did go back to coaching, he'd be comfortable coaching. I don't know if that's something, if I could say that about him, because he's actually hard on his players, and I'm not sure if he could continue that style coaching. To be honest with you,
yeah.
so.
Some people bring up Matt Rule for that job with Nebraska. I'm
Mm.
not that impressed with Matt Rule in Nebraska. I don't know about you. Uh,
I feel with Matt Rule, he's one of those guys. Also former NFL coach, right?
yeah, he coached
That
with Carolina, but it didn't work out.
right. I just feel like with
Pepper
someone like
fight.
him, again, where he was successful was not not tiny school, but a place that had less distractions, right? Like he came. Well, he was at in Texas. He was at Waco, right?
Waco, Texas, at Texas Tech. I don't think Rule was there. I think he
No,
was
wait. Where he coached in the college?
he
What was the
got
college?
hired away from a small. Oh, he might have been at Baylor actually.
Baylor. Yeah, he was at Baylor in Waco, right?
Oh,
So
I thought Texas Tech was. You're right. Okay,
yeah,
my
so
bad.
no. So like a place like Waco, Texas, is not a huge population
I always
of.
get that and Texas Tech mixed up.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it depends sometimes
Yeah,
on.
it's a big
Uh,
state, man. A lot of colleges.
yeah, and like so, I feel like for him, even when he went in North, even when he was in Charlotte, it was good for him in NFL because it wasn't huge media, it wasn't huge distractions. It just didn't work out for him. But I feel like for him, he needs to be like similar, like low key, just let him do what he needs to do, and then he has to have the attention of the players, right? So,
Yeah,
um, I'm not sure if I'm not sure where he's at as far as personal. Uh, like a lot of guys say what they choose to do or what they're planning to do, and I think with Matt Rule is one of this. Like he's not an easy book a book to read. So
yeah,
it depends
yeah.
on
I
what
think
his
he'll stay
situation
at
is.
Nebraska, man. Then again, it's not going great at Nebraska. I know they lost to Michigan, so maybe he does take it. If he takes that, I don't think Penn State fans are going to be excited about that. They may be excited about the coach from Texas A&M who's been mentioned. Maybe Dan Mullen, who's starting over at UNLV. Somebody like that that's hungry. Maybe they go with the wild card. But like I said, I mean, Franklin been there 11 years. I can understand them wanting to change and wanting to spice it up. I don't know if I've done it in the middle of the season, but they want to get a jump on everybody else. What do you think about Brian Callahan here in Nashville? Speaking of firing, getting fired.
What do I think?
Yeah,
What have I been saying since he was hired?
you said he's
Like
a bad hire from the get go. Yeah,
yeah, yeah, and I feel like it's. I didn't think he was going to get fired till the end of the season, but I'm not sure what's going on over there with the and
yeah,
not to say that would have been even better, but
yeah,
I'm not sure what's going on with this ownership. We've spoke about this in the past, and we spoke
yeah,
about him and about I feel my feelings about him, but even I think more is our feelings about ownership. Like there's
yeah.
no,
I
you
guess you
know,
probably heard my little bit today, that a clip I put out about Amy, that she's hired and firing general managers and coaches, but other than Mike Vrabel, have we heard of any of these coaches before the Titans hired them? That since she's been there, you
I
know?
mean, I think one of the major problems is I think she's expecting ROI a lot quicker than her like the reality will bring it, right? Your return on investment like isn't gonna
Yeah,
an NFL football and a market team like the Titans in Nashville is not one of those quick turnarounds. And in the NFL, it's not even a quick turnaround anyways. You're more likely to build up small and fall fast and then try to build up again even slower than you are to build up fast, win, and keep winning. And there's no right way of doing it. People have been trying to copy other teams and doing things, and I feel like she was trying to go like the 49er route, and now she's trying to do a route that the Patriots are doing, and then she tried to mimic
yeah,
other teams, and at the end of the day, you can't mimic anyone. You got to do what you got to do, and you got to find football people
yeah,
who get it, who get the business, who get players, and who can get your team competitive, and then and then you build from that. So I'm not sure what her goals are as far as the ownership of the Titans and what she wants to do. The but for sure she's in a in a conference that allows upside, that allows you to move, you know up slowly or even move sideways and then up, like because that's not a power conference. So but she's not giving that leeway to the personnel at all. So I don't know.
yeah. She tries to emulate championship teams, but my thing is, back when she fired Mike Vrabel, she didn't even the Titans weren't even rumored to be even trying to reach out to Ben Johnson, the hottest commodity on the market along with Jim Harbaugh. Not even trying to reach out to these guys. She's hiring these guys nobody's never heard of, going on the cheap, and she's paying them off a few years later. So she's buying out probably still Vrabel, Carthon, the general manager, now Brian Callahan. And I'm thinking, if she doesn't even reach out to a Mike McCarthy or John Gruden or somebody like that, offensive minded head coaches, to work with this young Cam Ward, she needs to sell the team, man. That's my point. At this point, I think people just need to protest, say, listen, man, you don't know what you're doing. You're trying to sell us a bag of good. And what she'll do is the organization, not just her, they'll sell this to these local TV and radio stations, and they will sell it to guys like, well, I'm not buying that anymore. No. I mean, you either go out here and get us a real coach. Don't insult the fan base's intelligence with these. Matt Nagy, I was reading, was going to be one of the potential favorites. Former Bears coach that's a coordinator under, and Arthur Smith, former offensive coordinator, who got fired on another retread, who's now with the Steelers. You know, I mean, just two lame coaches there. Try to sell that to us when the taxpayers are paying that dome. I mean, half of that dome that's being built in 2027. I mean, that is a bunch of nonsense, man. I'm tired of, being a low. So, I'll still cover them, but I'm going to call it like I see it and said, if she tries to sell us, she tries to sell us that, I'm going to say she needs to sell the team and move on, like Daniel Snyder did.
What's the chance of her that she is trying to sell a team and nobody knows it yet, and she's just trying to get buyers like privately? Because
I hope if that's the case.
Yeah,
I really do.
What it sounds like a group of,
you want to sell them when they're winning, not when they're in the gutter like this.
Oh no! What you do is you cut off all the contracts that are high end, so that when a buyer comes in, you can sell them they can get at the best rate, and you make it a quick sell. That way, you don't have to be like, so the seller can buy low and
well, she's still financing this stadium. I don't know if that. I doubt that's the case. I would like for that to be the case for a guy with some money bags and really wanting to invest like a Walmart here. The guy that's related to the Walmart family that owns the Broncos, or the guy that owns the Rams.
Well, how about the guy that owns Amazon, who has a lot of Amazon?
Bezos would be good. He's got
warehouses and a lot of investments in Nashville already.
Like, he's got a ton in Middle Tennessee. That's right. Yeah, I take people there to Uber all the time. Yeah. Hopefully she'll hear what we're saying and go out and hire Mike McCarthy or John.
But the thing is that you leave it right now. You got you cut the ties with all these huge contracts, and you leave it for a new owner to come in to make those decisions. Listen, like at the end of the day, even companies and people who are in Google can even invest and maybe buy the NFL team. Because they have a lot of, Tennessee have a lot of big companies in there with different pieces of the company there. You got Volkswagen, you got Nissan, you got
we won't have a shortage of buyers. This is a red hot city too, man.
Yeah. So I'm sure that there's a possibility there's something going on there where she's maybe trying to make some moves just before she can, But if not, and she wants to keep the team, she's not, like you said, she's not moving in the direction that a fan like yourself and other Tennesseans who are paying good money to not just see the games, but also in taxes for that new stadium, it's not what they want to hear. So welcome to the life of a football fan in a city that it doesn't win.
Speaking of winning and not winning, by the way, I said this at the big when they hired Aaron Glenn, I said Aaron Glenn matched up with Justin Fields. That is number one pick action all day. I mean, that is just a disaster. I said the score. Then again, I said the same thing about Baker Mayfield, a guy that kind of bounced around the league with Todd Bowles, a former Jets coach. And now I had them number one for this week in my power ranking. But I can kind of see that thing going down like that. But staying with New York, your boy Scatterboo, 3 touchdowns last week, beat up on the Eagles. I said it's more about the Eagles' issues with the offense. Of course, Jalen Carter was out. Than it was about the Giants, although the Giants had a great game last Thursday, winning by 17 points. Man, that had to feel pretty good. What's your thoughts about that and that whole situation with them two teams?
So it's good to see because I was on the boat with a lot of people that didn't want to see um we didn't want to see Dart
Dark.
on the field
Okay.
yet because of that O line. There wasn't really a running game. Scatterboo, he's just a rookie. He's doing great.
Yeah.
Um, and like you said, it's more on the Eagles not playing their game or great or a good enough game to compete with the Giants. And the Giants just they got two young guys. They got they're motivated. They got energy, and that kind of flows through the team. But that will eventually find a resting spot when you see how good and how deep this team is, and they're not really. So good luck for the rest of the season. This is like the Super Bowl. People here in New York have been parading around and getting excited because they're like, oh, it's a new generation. I'm like, nah, I'm glad that they're winning a couple games, but we need to, I'm still not on board with Sean and Dabo being, part of the leadership. So,
Right.
but you got to take everything with a grain of salt. You got to
Yeah.
I look, I get excited because I didn't expect it. So,
It
but
does
I'm not
feel good to
expect.
beat a rival like that. You got to admit,
Oh
that's,
my gosh, like I mean, I want to jump and be
especially
in
the
some.
Eagles.
Yeah, I want to jump and you mock the Eagle fans and do all that, but I'm not dumb either. God, they play them in 2 weeks, so I'm like, "Duh, I'm not
Wow.
going to do that. So you
Did,
know,
did, did you think the Eagles are in trouble? I said this for weeks. They look a lot like the team 2 years ago. They need to bring an offensive consultant like the Ravens did back in 2012 when they brought Jim Caldwell in to work with Joe Flacco. This guy don't know what he's doing. This OC's over his head. He's like Brian Callahan as a head coach, or Brian Johnson, the other guy that was the OC 2 years ago. They need to react now. They haven't yet that I've read, but I think they are in trouble offensively.
yeah, they need to get on board with getting a plan, building an identity on offense, and
Yes.
and they need to just play football and have fun, man. Right now they're struggling. They got a lot of guys that are in and out with minor injuries. They got
Yeah.
guys that are not playing to the potential. They got guys that are overplaying and not allowing other guys aren't moving up with them. So, it's just it's a matter of like this coaching staff needing to get this team on a winning. Once you start winning, you start start getting catch the wave and you move forward because the team on paper is probably the second or third best team on paper, and so you got to match that on the field. You can't just talk about it and then the people in the media will eventually they'll let you can't be Fugazi and playing in Philadelphia. You just can't do it, right? So um
Yeah.
that's a really tough feat for people in as a fan base in Philly, especially after the last few years and how they've been playing. So and to get back to the Jets and Glenn, what were the expectations of the Jets to get to? Their defense is not doing bad. Their offense is just not scoring any points.
Yeah.
The defense can be better if the offense score points. So this is not a
Yeah.
Glenn issue.
They,
This is
they,
a
they need they need a quarterback and they need somebody to guide that quarter. Now, do you
yeah.
want
I
to
mean,
stay
but
with Glenn, or do you want to maybe get a new OC? I wouldn't hire. I wouldn't stay with Glenn, but that's just me. He could be one and done there.
yeah, I don't. I look. I feel like if they treat Glenn like they treat this guy who's in Tampa Bay, they're gonna miss out on the opportunity of having a good defense for years to come. Like you and again, like yeah, he's not offensive minded, but he did bring in a younger coach from the Lions to help him and build an attack
Yeah, he did,
and
didn't
and they haven't been able to
he? It may just
formulate.
be Fields, not. But some of the players was talking. Why question why didn't he throw the Hail Mary at the end of the half. Then he says maybe we should have thrown the Hail Mary. He's second guessing himself. It's already starting to come down like a parade, an avalanche.
Yeah,
He may be good head coach, but right now it don't look good.
yeah. I just feel it's a bunch of hoo ha because at the end of the day, like who are the Jets going to get as a quarterback if they replace Justin Fields? Who are they going to get as a coach if they replace Glenn? Like they keep thinking that if the Jets keep thinking that if they just replace A with B, you get C. No, you replace A with A and you keep getting A. Like you're not going to get the C because the biggest issue that you have is ownership, right? Ownership put
Yeah,
all this
he's another
together.
one that he
You know,
definitely needs to sell the team. Him and Hemi Adams Strunk should both put their teams up for sale.
yeah, because at the end, look,
Yeah.
if there's a big problem in on the Jets, it's not just the fact that Justin Fields. If Justin Fields wasn't a good quarterback or didn't have any potential, why would they pick them up anyways? Right? What was
Yeah.
the problem with Justin Fields? I feel the biggest problem with Justin Fields is the fact that everybody's trying to put Justin Fields in a box that says Lamar Jackson or a box that says Jared Goff. Well, he ain't either of those quarterbacks. He's Justin Fields. You find a guy that can use him for what he's got. And you're talking about a guy that led Ohio State team and made 3 wide receivers and a tight end look like they were superstars, and they all got drafted, and they're all doing okay in all the teams that they've been on. So
Yeah.
if you keep saying it's
Well, the
just
way Sam Darnold and Daniel Jones are playing, you really don't want to write off Justin
that's
Fields
what I'm saying.
right now.
Now and
So
again, and with all these people who we looked and talk about Justin Fields, and we always mention these people in the draft and how long will it take? But sometimes it takes as long as it takes. You're talking about a young man who everybody said football acumen was in the 67th percentile. So right now you're getting a young man whose acumen is at a 60, 70 percentile. You haven't ever put this guy with the offensive coordinator who knew how to use him for his talent and his potential. My thing
yeah,
is this: you find somebody who can use him for his talent and potential, and quit trying to play a game of football in your backyard that doesn't work, neither in your backyard or Madden and at the Meadowlands. It's just not going to happen. Use the guy and use the tools around him and make sure he just plays football and let him have fun. Like he's not a drop back quarterback. Fine. He can run and make plays. Do you allow him to run and plays? No, you want him to sit there and he begins sacked like a crash test dummy. Like, come on. Like there's simple things that you can do to make this game fun for the Jets and make him play like they play. Again, their defense isn't that bad, right? And they
no,
can,
no,
and they,
they
but they
help.
wouldn't.
Yeah,
They wasn't never going to win this year. They wasn't never going to win more than 7 games, anyways. Whether Glenn was going to win these games or lose them, they wasn't on slot to win more than 10 games, Robert. So people
they
call
had a
for.
good offensive line. If they had a good quarterback and a good scheme, I
But
think they're
again,
probably a quarterback away.
yeah, but you're just talking. Okay, they had a decent quarterback in Rodgers in the last 5 games. The last 5. In fact, if those 5 games he didn't play that well, he wouldn't have been picked up by Pittsburgh. But my thing is
Yeah, look
this,
at them;
Robert.
they're five
Pe-
and one.
People
Yeah,
are asking for his head on the table, and at the end of the day, the defense isn't playing that bad, and he's a defensive
no, they're not
coach.
that bad.
So just again, what it's gonna take for this Jets team, who knows? Because at the end of the day, we don't know where we this, like you said, somebody needs to come in, look at the team, and like you mentioned for other teams that came in, try to put something together for them now, and then also a plan for the future. I feel like the Jets and the Giants haven't never had a plan for the future. They're just selling off and bringing in t-shirt sales and jersey sales. They're not planning or making anything strong and of anything fundamental and anything foundation wise. They just going
So,
off at because they trying to sell tickets.
all right, I got to move on, brother. We got to go rapid fire.
Yeah,
Good call there. I'm still up 4, but you did win this one. Seattle, Jacksonville. Seattle's in my top. They're in my Power 5 now.
nice.
Jackson Smith to Jigma, man, very good
Hmm.
chemistry there with Sam Darnold. What's your thoughts about that game, real quick?
Oh man, listen. The as much as that offense was kicking and getting in and trying to get points, and they kind of sporadically did it and then finally got caught rhythm. That defense kept them in the game, and it was a good game for Seattle to come back and show
Yeah,
that they do have potential to win games. And the fact that Darnold win and carry the team is what you want to see from a starting quarterback. And I liked it. It was a good game. I felt like Jacksonville. I felt and I said that Jacksonville played well for the first quarter, but I felt like Seattle was going to bring it in, and they
yeah,
did,
they're very
and that
good
was a good
against
game.
the run.
Yeah,
They did well. They're getting healthy on the back end.
yeah.
San Francisco, Tampa, man,
Oof,
their
oof.
number one team now. Tampa is in my power ranking. Frisco seems to be falling apart. Baker Mayfield right there with MVP. Man, he missed his other receiver. Emeka Aduka got hurt in that. Guys like Tez Johnson, uh, third and fourth string receivers he's throwing to. Very impressive run there game by Baker Mayfield.
Yeah, and what I like about Baker is he's never quit attitude. He's thrown to more receivers this year than he's thrown in his 4 year
Whole career
career
probably.
and
They
anywhere.
had
So
three
I
starters
like.
out.
Yeah, I like that the fact that he's been able to just move past the fact that people are missing the tight ends right now are helping him a bunch.
Yeah.
His safety net, Amen, and then the other guy on the other
I
side,
love Kate Odman. Yeah.
yeah, they're doing their job as far as making sure that he gets rid of the ball and keeping him safe from getting hit. And those two guys, they deserve more props right now than and the offensive coordinator for making sure that Baker can get rid of the ball and giving him an opportunity to play football because the guy, he likes to play football. He loves to play football. He likes to be on the field. He loves to get hit. Like
Yeah.
you don't hear that from
He's
other
another one of
quarterbacks.
those guys, thought he was going to be a washout, really came back to life there.
Yeah,
Like Jesus went into Nazareth, just put that dude back to life, man.
it was
And
good.
it's a great story, the Baker Mayfield story. Buffalo was fell out of my top five. That's another team. If they don't get to the Super Bowl this year, they need to make a coaching change, bar none. They're 30th now against the run. I said this last Thursday. I said Atlanta off of a bye week. I'm concerned. Bijan Robinson, the best running back in the NFL, 170 yards, touchdown last week. He's a beast out there. And that defense held them to 14 points. What's your thoughts about that game?
Yeah, I'm not big. I'm not a big fan of Buffalo. I just think with they're a small market team and trying to make big market moves and good luck for that. Whether they make any change in coaching or not, that's not going to matter. It's hard to build a team if you're paying your quarterback that kind of money. Um, Atlanta, big props to Bijan. He is the best
You're a
running back
beast,
right
man.
now
Yeah. Good
easily.
offensive line,
And
too.
yeah, and he's like he's taking the role of a Josh Jacobson that what he did last year. So like I like to see these guys running the ball. I like them to give them the opportunity for the quarterback to give to get them going too. And look, he made a couple throws in that game as well. So the running game
Nice.
allows it, and Atlanta is taking advantage of it. And guys like Kyle Pitts and Ozone, they are doing what they have to their job, but they can do a little bit better because they have a lot of potential. But it's there, it's there for
Yeah.
Atlanta, and they need to just keep growing that competitiveness and just to win over games because that's the only thing that they lack is
Yeah.
their
They're a
defense.
missed field goal away from beating that Tampa team, too. And they had to do away with Young Wei Koo because of that in
Yeah,
game one. I told you about this same thing with the Bears. I said I had a feeling Bears off a bye week. Now they got a better coach in Ben Johnson, a guy Tennessee should have hired. I love the way Ben Johnson and Caleb Williams, way he handled Caleb. Very rainy night there. The mistake was made by Jalen Daniels. Good win for the Bears with their injuries. I was going to take the Bears, but too many injuries on the defensive side. Still a great win. What's your thoughts on that Monday night game?
yeah, it ended with Mooney kick, but you look again. It was a good competitive game, but it was a terrible game to
Very competitive.
watch. Very terrible as far as like the way the game was swinging, and you're like, so it was hard to see which team was actually the better team because of the
Okay.
weather. And I expect both teams to actually play better than they played this past weekend. And it was good because for Chicago because they got a comeback win because last year they got the Washington got that Hail Mary over them.
Devastating
So and
loss.
I
Yeah.
feel like this is one of those games that can be like one of the like a hidden rival game. Like like they should
Mhm.
play every year and see who could win that game because it's a
Yeah.
terrible game. It became ugly with the rain, and it was fun that they were competitive and that they kept at it. So
Yeah. And you know what? We both nailed Detroit, Kansas City.
mm.
Uh, I think Kansas City is getting a little bit more back every week. They're going to get Rashad Rice back. Detroit had some injuries in their secondary and also at left tackle. Both very good call there. Then Brian Branch ends up swinging on Juju Smith-Schuster. He's suspended this week because of it. Any thoughts on that game?
Yeah, man.
Kansas City,
You know
Detroit.
you know how I feel about Detroit. The Lions just be lying. I mean, look, they get those games, they get you excited, and then all of a sudden you're on that train, and
You
then you
said,
just
what did you say? The Lions be lying?
the Lions.
Pretty
Like
good.
I'm not, but again, I'm not a big fan of the Lions.
I still love Dan Campbell.
Yeah, no, he's a great coach and everything, but it's just like a lot of money's been spent on golf. It's not that I don't feel like this game was his fault more than the fact that um, they just couldn't get points when they needed it. Like, and so
Yeah.
you got to give props to the team of the Kansas City defense. Man, they
Yeah.
did
They're
very well.
still there. They're still there.
Yeah, they did a really good job keeping the Lions and tamed. And listen, that was a good game for me because I was hoping that Kansas City came out on top and they did. So
Yeah. This is one that I won on college. It's kind of kept me even at 4-4. Thought that Arch Manning, the speed of Florida would prepare him for Oklahoma, plus the injury and matter. You could tell the quarterback for Oklahoma wasn't quite right. That's the most comfortable I've seen Arch as a starting quarterback. He's sliding right. He's making his reads. He was decisive. He looked a lot more like Eli Manning last week versus Peyton. Very good win there for the Texas Longhorns. What's your thoughts about that game?
yeah, I mean, listen, good for Arch because he needed to come back and play a game like that. He
As a
needed,
confidence builder.
yeah, and the thing is, I'm sure he was getting all this talk from his teammates about, are you going to be able to win the Heisman this year and all that. And I hope for him for his motivation, for his mental health, for his emotional health that he
Yeah,
don't worry about none of that. Just
that's
stay
true.
with the NIL, stay in one more year, and I think he'll be an even better quarterback and a better football player because of that. But if he starts trying to focus to trying to get more and more wins this season, I think it'll hurt him more than help him. To be honest with you, so
Yeah,
I
yeah,
think
yeah. They still got a pretty good defense. That game kept them alive
yes, in
in the grand scheme of
in
things
the
in the
rankings of things,
playoff.
yes.
Okay, now this week we're starting the pick the five games of this particular week. Let's go to. I'll start off here. Let's go to England. Another game in London between the Rams and Jacksonville. I was actually
Mm.
going to pick the Rams initially because I thought it was actually played in Jacksonville, but the game is going to be played in London. And there's not a team that goes to London more than Jacksonville. Some kind of
Right,
connection the owner has to London or whatever. I think he grew up outside of the UK or whatnot. The
right.
Rams are not going to have Puka Nakua. If this game were in Jacksonville, I'd actually take the Rams. But the fact that the Rams had to go to Baltimore last week, great win for the Rams last week, go home. Then they had to go fly all the way to London. I think Jacksonville will bounce back, even with their shaky secondary. The fact that they're so used to playing in London, I like the Jags 27-20. A lot of people won't watch this game. I'll probably, take a few glances at it on Sunday morning. What's your thoughts about that game? Two pretty good teams here.
Yeah, I mean, the what the Rams went through last week, they need to pick me up, and I don't think they'd be able to find it. It was a bad week for them. Then they have to travel, so they don't really get real rest. And you lose the 8 hours of sleep. So
Yeah, because they're
and like
coming from the West Coast. That's a big difference there.
yeah, and so like I feel like they're just not. They're just on a slump. They're gonna slump now because they're gonna miss one of their major parts in their offense. Right,
Yeah,
that was
Puka.
one of the best threesomes that they had there for in football for with the two wide receivers and the quarterback there. But
Yeah.
they're not gonna get that. They're not gonna get the production. I don't feel even if they have a couple potential high
I really
potential
thought you would go Rams on
replacement.
this game.
Now
Wow.
I'm going Jags, and what you said is very important. This is a team. The most of the team is still that's 60% of the team is from the last 3 seasons have been there, have played there. They know the atmosphere. They know
Home
the
away from home.
yeah. It's a home away from home, and they're I think they'll be able to gut this out, and I feel like it's gonna be 32-10 or 14. I feel like
Wow.
probably 14, but it's going to be 32 to 14, and I think
Yeah.
that the Jaguars are going to make this an exciting game in London for their home crowd that they got
Yeah.
building over there.
One of the few wins that Urban Meyer got when he was the coach there at Jacksonville was a London game. They were celebrating like they had won the Super Bowl there.
Well,
Uh,
the fans in
yeah,
London, man, the England fans, man, they're crazy about their sports, and you can go
those
from.
stadiums do look full. You
Man, they
know.
they 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 love football. They love like their rugby. They love no matter where, and it's outdoor and it's cold. They're gonna get excited and crazy. They love the NFL. They even like baseball. So I appreciate that from them. And sometimes we have a little conflict with them as far as like sports is, but they're great fans out there, and they're gonna make it just exciting for to watch. So
Yeah, that's true. Indianapolis and the Chargers, the Colts lead the division here. The Chargers, big win last week. They're still very much in the thick of things. I want to say they're second in the division in the West. I think Denver's actually leading it. It's pretty jumbled up in the AFC West, like I thought it would be. Joe Alt may be back. He's been limited. That's the left tackle there for the LA Chargers along with Quentin Johnson. I was actually going to take the Colts on the road until I saw these guys coming back. The wide receiver, Derwin James, looked like he's going to play as well. If I'm the Colts, I try to run the ball the whole time with Jonathan Taylor and that good offensive line that's ranked 1 by PFF. That would keep me in the game. That being said, this is going to be an airtight game. The odds makers have it as a 1.5-point favorite for the LA Chargers. I'm going to go 23-20, last minute field goal for you, the Chargers there to get the win to beat the Colts here. What do you think about that game? I think that'll be a good one out in
yeah,
LA.
I'm with you. I think that right now the Chargers are gonna put it to them. They're gonna bolt them up. You're gonna see the you're gonna see the Colts be one dimensional, and that's not gonna help at all. Daniel Jones, when a team is one dimensional, he goes out and he proves how how greatly bad he is. So I'm gonna go here with the Chargers. I'm gonna see this Herbert go out and try to carry this team, and it's gonna be 27-24. It's gonna be a field goal win, and it's gonna be a close one out there. But I feel like it's gonna be the
it'll be
Chargers
a
winning
good.
this one.
It'll be a good 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock Eastern your time start game. Now this one, I doubt it. You might agree with me here. I'm surprised you agree with me with those two. We may both get our teeth kicked in this week so far, but I'm just going with my gut here. Uh, Philadelphia at Minnesota. The
Mm.
Eagles will have back Jalen Carter this week. Remember, they've got the extra days off. They played on that Thursday, got stomped by Scatterboo and your Giants there. Minnesota, however, coming off a true bye week. Remember, they went to across the pond. They beat Cleveland. Carson Wentz practiced all week. They might have J.J. McCarthy, but I'm thinking it's going to be Carson Wentz, former Eagle, playing against his old team here with O'Connell. Here's my biggest matchup. That this is what I like. I like the Brian Flores against this guy named Kevin Patalio. You're wondering who the heck is this guy? That's the offensive coordinator. It's not going to be the offensive coordinator of the Philadelphia Eagles. So actually, I like the home team here to beat the Eagles again. To the Eagles to be for the Eagles to be on a 3-game losing streak, and Jamie is going to be not so excited. Not the ending we wanted. Not the ending we wanted. 23-17 Vikings. Vikings at home off of bye week. They beat the Eagles.
I agree. I
Tell me you
concur.
like that too.
I like it for a couple of reasons. The Eagles haven't found the key issue on why they're not performing well. So until they figure that out, which I feel like it's going to take maybe a game or two, and they have to feel like they're in a losing, like they have to feel like they're falling before they feel like they can get better and get back up. So this is a game that the Vikings, they're at home, man. They usually take care of teams at home. It gets loud in that stadium for them. They got a good crowd.
It's
Um,
yes. The
Jefferson
Viking
hadn't had
horn is real.
yeah, Jefferson hadn't had a big game yet.
He's
Like
due.
he's due, and like who better to do it than the struggling Eagle secondary, right? And
Yeah.
who better to dance in front of than Brown and all those guys waiting on the sideline to get back into the game. So uh, I do expect Saquon to be featured. So I feel this game is gonna be like 32-27. I feel like this game is gonna be like high, too much.
32-27.
Yeah, I feel like it's gonna be a lot of
Nice.
offense, and then the
Nice.
defense just won't be able to just handle what's going on. So they're just gonna go back and forth at it, and I feel like you're gonna see the QBs going for a few touchdowns and on the Eagles side, and maybe even Saquon but like they're just gonna run out of gas. The Eagles are gonna run out of gas because you're playing in a dome, and so it's gonna be
Yeah.
it's gonna be different. So but yeah,
Interesting. I did not think he was going to get.
yeah, yeah. I feel like no, because I
I
feel
would
like
kind of like to go to the Minnesota Vikings game
yeah, that
sometime.
both defenses are
Yeah.
struggling, Rob. So
Yeah.
they're gonna give up
But
points.
I
Both of
like
them
the
are gonna give up points.
coaching better on Minnesota, especially at home.
Oh yeah,
And
yeah,
get,
yeah, yeah.
I mean,
That,
Eagles are really struggling, man.
yeah, on that retrospect, yes. There's better coaching in the Vikings. I feel like that when they start scoring and they get going, it's
Hmm.
the Vikings can start building up points. But again, I don't think the Eagles are going to be far behind trying to score, and
Yeah.
they're just going to be 2 minutes short of trying to win the game
I
again,
hope it's
right?
like that. That means it'll be a good fantasy day,
Oh
and
yeah,
I'll
yeah,
be
yeah. It's going
playing
to be great.
fantasy.
It's going to be great.
Yeah. Cool beans, brother. Tampa, I want to say this is a Sunday night game. Your Tampa Bay Bucks will be playing Detroit. Seems like they play Detroit every year now. I know they played in the playoffs a few years ago. Lions, we talked about their bad loss against the Chiefs. Brian Branch going to be suspended in this game for the Juju Smith-Schuster incident. But also they got two other a cornerback and another safety. This Kirby Joseph guy is not going to be playing. So you have 3/4 of the secondary out in this particular game. I love Dan Campbell off of losses. This is in Detroit, but I don't see any major line issues with the Tampa Bay Bucks, even with guys like Tez Johnson or some guys from Tampa Bay University up there playing with Baker Mayfield. I think your uh, Bucks, man, actually win this thing. I don't know why Detroit's favored by 5, maybe because it's up in Detroit, but I'm saying 27-20. Tampa goes 6-1, man, and they
Ooh.
keep this momentum going. They get the win. I hope I'm wrong, but then again, I don't know. It depends on if you pick Detroit.
Now, look, the Detroit's playing at home. They're coming off a loss. The fans do a good job of lifting spirits for Detroit.
Yeah.
So and I feel like this is going to be again. I feel like this is going to be similar to the Eagles Vikings game where it's just going to be back to back scoring. Laporta. You got this guy. What's
Well,
his
support
name?
a Kate Otten for Tampa.
Huh?
Kate Otten for Tampa. And Bucky Irvin, I don't think he's going to play, but uh, the backup running back is fine with Tampa. So,
Yeah. So I just feel like they're going to be going back and forth, and it just might come to a kicking game for the Lions. They're going to win this. I feel like they're going to win this. It's only going to
you
be
feel
like
like
27.
Detroit's going to win?
Yeah, it's a home game. They're gonna win 27-24. I feel like
Wow.
Tampa Bay is gonna win the whole. They're gonna like lead the whole game, and then the
And then
last
Tampa, and
5 minutes,
wow.
something's gonna happen, and the Lions they're gonna have home field advantage, man. When they
Well, I
have
hope
home
I'm
field
right
advantage,
then. Now go
all,
Tampa.
all those calls, all those calls go the Detroit way when they have home field advantage. I mean, Detroit can fumble the ball, and they for some reason they'll move forward on a holding call. So I just
Well,
see,
it happens a lot up in Detroit. But
yeah,
remember, Tampa
I just
did
see
go up there and
Detroit.
beat them a few years ago in the
Yeah,
regular season.
yeah, I just and then after that loss, and a lot of people, are upset. A lot of bettors are upset. So I feel like this is a makeup game for Detroit, and I want to see the Bucks win, but I just feel like this 27-24, man. This it's gonna become a kicking game, and I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. I hate to say it. It usually
Yeah.
happens when I say it, which sucks. But this game's gonna be won by
It's
by
usually
a kick.
like that. Tampa, they have it no other way. It's always close, except for last week. I think they won by 9 points.
Yeah, man, look,
Atlanta, huh?
look. If Tampa can't get into the end zone, they're gonna kick because they're very methodical in that. And
Yeah.
if they miss one field goal or muff the kicker for some reason or another, or even a safety, that throws everything off for Tampa Bay because they don't play well coming off of mistakes. They play well better from coming from behind, but from making mistakes, they lose
Yeah.
motivation. So it's gonna be a good game.
Yeah, that would be a good win for Detroit. That now that Green Bay's got their footing, Atlanta's going to San Francisco now. San Francisco don't have Fred Warner. Um, we know that they already don't have Bosa's been out for a few weeks. Looks like Mac Jones is going to be the starter again. I like Mac Jones. I like what he's doing there. I like that running game. This would have been easy for me to pick Atlanta, but their left tackle hasn't practiced all week. He got hurt in that Monday night game against Buffalo. Like I said, I'm surprised Francisco is actually a 1.5 favorite. I'm gonna go out on the limb. As good as much as I've talked up San Francisco or Atlanta, Atlanta on the road is not quite Atlanta at home. I know they went up to Minnesota and beat them a few weeks ago, but then the next week they lost 30-0 at Carolina. So I'm saying 27-24. San Francisco wins on Sunday Night Football. I think they get control of their running game and they get after Michael Penix. Could be wrong here though. Penix could go off again and utilize those targets and take advantage of those injuries. What's your thoughts about Frisco Atlanta? That'll be a good game Sunday night.
Atlanta, you want to win this game, you just run the ball. Run the ball. The defense
Oh,
have no
it's all Bejan if you want to
Yeah,
win.
Bejan, Beetlejuice. Man, just run the guy.
Yeah.
Run him. Don't try to get too pretty throwing the ball, even though the secondary is gonna be,
Look
make
banged
the
up.
make the 49ers work. Make them work, make them earn every inch that and get that defense on its heels, and then the big plays will start opening up. Just run the ball. Run the ball. If you run the ball, you give this guy the
But what
ball
happens?
30 times, Atlanta will win this game 27-14.
Atlanta
If
wins
you
big?
Yeah, if they don't run the ball and they just give this guy the ball 15 times, San Francisco's going to win, and it's going to be like one of those games that's like 21-17. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Okay.
But I feel like Atlanta's smart. I feel like the mojo's coming back. They're a bunch of young guys, and they just get running. Even if the quarterback runs, just run the ball. That's all you got to do. Look,
Yeah.
this is the weakest the 49ers have ever been.
Yeah, that you're right.
Ever.
You may shave 2 games off. We still got 3 quick college games, real quick. Who do you like? LSU, Vanderbilt. No, Vanderbilt's favored at home off a bye week. I still like LSU, particularly in
LSU.
this game. 27-17. I like LSU to get the road win. Who do you like in that game?
LSU 21-14.
Okay, cool beans. We agree on that one. Georgia, Ole Miss. Ole Miss beat Georgia last year. Year before that, Georgia beat Ole Miss. Georgia's at home. Georgia can take a punch. I can't believe Georgia beat Auburn last week. It cost me a freaking gambling game, but the mother effers did it. Just like they came back and beat Tennessee. Georgia could take. They almost came back and beat Alabama. Georgia is favored 7.5 points at home. I like Georgia at home. I don't think Ole Miss defense is good as it was last year. I know they slipped by and won some games this year. 27-20, Georgia gets the home win, knocks off number 4 Ole Miss. What's your thoughts on that game?
Yeah, I'm with you. I think that they're gonna get that 27 points, and also, but Ole Miss will be right behind them with 24 points. So I feel like Georgia's gonna win that game. I just feel like Ole Miss is
They
a
kind of
little
skated by, hadn't they?
yeah, there's a little bit on that defense that's not as not where it needs to be yet. And you're gonna see that Georgia's gonna get back in the top 5, and Ole Miss will slide back down. So
Yeah, yeah, cool beans. Couldn't agree with you more. Last but not least, my friend Ken from church. Before you troll me on Saturday, I'm telling you my prediction about Tennessee, Alabama.
woo, woo.
Alabama's 8.5 point under favorites over Tennessee. I know Tennessee won last year. We saw the Tennessee game on Saturday. They blew a 17-point lead, hung on to win by 3. They went to overtime against Mississippi State. They struggle against SEC teams. They also struggle on the road. This is an SEC team on the road. Ty Simpson, the quarterback, is a Tennessee native. He's going to play great against Tennessee. Listen, I'm not a guy that just picks what people want to hear. I pick what I think is going to happen. 38-27. Unfortunately, Alabama will win this game, and Ty Simpson will be that much closer to his Heisman bid. What's your thoughts on Tennessee, Alabama, down in Tuscaloosa this time?
Yeah, Alabama's coming off of
Big win at Missouri.
yeah, they're coming off a win. I don't know. I think this is gonna be one of those overtime games, man, where they're just both,
Well,
they're
that would
both
be
gonna
great for
they both
Tennessee.
they're both get like 27 each, and then they're just gonna go overtime, and then that's gonna be a kicking game from there. I just think both teams have a lot on the line. They're gonna let it all out. I like the Heisman idea that you have there, and but I just
Ty
feel like
Simpson.
I think Mr. Simpson, I hope he don't pull a Bart. You know what I'm saying? Like he needs this win more than the team does. And if he can carry them over this overtime, so be it. But they have to go to overtime, right? I feel like that's the
Wow.
main thing. So I feel like
You
it's gonna
think
be
Tennessee's defense is going to hold them in check? They're
yeah.
shaky this year.
Look, 27-27, and Tennessee blows the overtime because they're not
Oh,
good.
okay.
They're
So
not.
what's your score then?
Uh,
Like,
uh, well, they'll kick the field goal to win, right? It'll be 27
oh,
27 in overtime, and then they'll be 30-27, right?
30-27, Alabama.
Yeah,
I got 38-27 in regulation.
yeah,
Alabama wins. Hope I'm wrong. That'd be great.
yeah. I
I'd
mean,
love to
listen,
stick it to Ken.
I hope I'm wrong, but like this to Alabama, they're right now the most. I think they was the most underrated team coming in this year. I think everybody said that they was going to be in the playoff, but I didn't think any or like, you know, try to
Well,
get
we
into the
all got
playoff.
thrown off by the Florida State game. I mean, there's
We'll see. I
people
mean,
ready to
I
call
had
this
Auburn
way.
going to the national championship, so
Yeah.
we'll see.
Yeah. Anything else that you need to plug? I know that was a mouthful. A lot
Yeah,
of
no,
stuff.
this weekend I'm gonna close out the baseball season with the show, even though the World Series is still going on. I'm
Yeah.
gonna close it out with what the Yankees and the Mets will do next. Both of these teams, I'd say both of us because my multiple personality there I got going on. I
Okay.
got no, I said that both teams are in Cancun fishing, and we gotta. But even though they fishing, they got to make moves, and the moves that they make is gonna change the outlook of what spring training is gonna be like. So look out for that show. Yeah, that's what I'm working on right now. Still kind of watching the World Series game, though.
Okay. Who do you
The
think's
the
going to be
playoffs.
in the World Series?
Oh
Seattle
man,
Dodgers,
I think it's gonna be the Dodgers versus don't
Mariners.
want. Yeah, I mean, I don't want to say Mariners, but I thought the Blue Jays would come out a lot.
Well, they play tonight, don't they?
Yeah, yeah, but they did good last night, but I just thought they would. I'm hoping that they come through. I would rather see the Blue Jays play the Dodgers than the Dodgers play the Mariners. So
Okay.
that's just me,
All right.
but but that's because I like baseball and I like the matchup better.
Yeah, I hear
You
you.
know,
I hear you.
now, I'm not.
Yeah,
I'm not
that was
thinking
my
about.
pick 2 years ago. The Mariners and the Dodgers. This year, I think it was Boston and the Dodgers because the Dodgers are freaking loaded. But
Right.
it'd be nice if the Brewers came back. Last I checked, they were tied 1-1. What's the score in that game?
Oh, I'm not. I'm not checking it right now. I'm on the football
Uh,
game right now. But like I'm look.
Milwaukee. Who's winning
But
the football game?
it's 7-0.
Oh, Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
Okay.
I,
Yeah,
I think it's
Dodgers are
7-0.
up. They're up 3-0 in the series. So the Dodgers, go figure,
I mean,
are
it's 10-0. 10-0. My bad.
Pittsburgh.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Good deal. Good deal.
Yeah.
Go
Yeah. No,
Pittsburgh.
but look, I'll say this: the last thing, and this is cut out. I'm not. The Seattle Mariners have the best team and has played the best baseball. But I want to see the Blue Jays with the better roster play better baseball and play the Dodgers to match them up better. Because I
You
don't
want
want
to
to be
see a
out there.
good World Series.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I don't want to be out there and disregarding and anything what these
Yeah.
teams have done and how they got where they got because our teams, New York teams, aren't in there. So like I'm not like when people say things like that, I was like, no, I want to watch a good baseball game. I want to watch a good World Series, and I don't want to take anything away from what this Seattle team has done. Look, I'm a big Rodriguez fan, Julio Rodriguez fan. I like the Mariners and what they've been able to accomplish.
Yeah.
They have an MVP candidate. The coach
Yeah,
is American,
Riley. Yeah.
but yeah, but I again, for me, for what I would like to see, and it's not. And the World Series don't depend on me or my opinions,
Yeah. No, I
but
hear you. I hear you.
you know, so
Just like I did not want to see the Nets play the Lakers back in 02 in the finals. I wanted the Kings to beat the Lakers. I knew that was the finals. You
right,
know, I
right.
knew, and then, of course it was. I mean, as soon as the Lakers got to the finals, it was a 4-0 sweep against lowly old Jason Kidd. How about Mad
My
New
man's so
York?
bitter about that.
It's all good though, man. College football, NFL. Have a round of Appreciate you. Have a good night, man. And everybody, I'll see you next week here live on the Real Sports Scope. I appreciate you watching. If you like the show, share the show. Have a good night, everybody.